Hi, Nick Collier here, and this is my shop. Come join me. We'll have some fun. Nick Collier here, and we're going to continue with this Shaper project. Unfortunately, we're done. But what I'm going to do is do a kind of a reverse engineering here, and we're going to walk backwards to this place where I filmed a whole series of events here, and then my camera got lost someplace out in the forest. I went out to cut wood, and it slipped out of my pocket, and it's been raining and snowing, so it's probably a dead deal at this point. Maybe at some point or another I'm going to find the camera, but so far I haven't, which means we've missed out on a bunch of stuff. I had two or three viewers send me a note when I was building this, and they said, it's not going to be strong enough, and I said, it'll be plenty strong. Hey, plenty strong. Okay, it's not strong enough. So we've taken it back apart. We're going to put a couple of gussets in here, and then we're going to put a stringer or a gusset right back in behind here to give this a little bit of strength. And I'm hoping that will be enough. Now the other thing is and we won't be able to show it to you right now, but once we get it back in place, is I want to put a stud right here with a hole in it so that I can, because these two bolts are just not strong enough. So what I want to do is I want to come in and run some pretty heavy bolts all the way past the table of the Shaper. And I think we'll have this thing strong, but who knows for sure. Okay, well, we noticed that when we put a little pressure on this plate here, it flexed just a little bit, and I just don't want any flex. So I've come in and I've cut a couple of 1-inch bars, and we've tacked them in, and now we want to just weld them in and get them all set. And then we're going to have to come back through, flip it over, come back through, and resurface one of the surfaces, well, maybe even both of them, because we could get some warpage from all the welding. So we're gonna do that, and but for the moment, let's just weld something. And we're warmed up enough, I think, that we can get a good start going. All right, well, we'll let it cool down a bit, and then we'll take it over to the mill and do a little machining. Well, I just want to take a second to thank Hilltop Machine Works for sending me this really great card holder, which I am now placing in a prominent place in my shop. And I'm going to come in close to, I don't know if you can see it or not, Hilltop Machine Works. And it's in brass. It's got a, what is it? Got a part number? No, a registered number. I'm not sure you can see that, but hey, I got my business cards and a very cool little holder. Thank you, Hilltop. We're going to start out by machining these parallel to this surface. Well, actually parallel to this surface here. because we have this up on parallels. And then once we get that surface parallel, we're going to flip it, and we're going to machine this and this surface here to get them squared up. So I think it's time to start the show. Well, that didn't exactly work, did it? All right, let's reset. Now, by the way this thing is looking, I'm seeing that the inserts are pretty dull, but I'm hoping to hog through this and then change inserts. But it may not be a possibility. Let's see if we can get past it here. All right, let's take these bits or these inserts out and turn them around. They look pretty wiped out. Okay, we now got not new inserts, but we got a new corner. So we're going to take another 10. Maybe speed this thing up a little bit. That looks good. Let's try 5 and see what we come up with. Yeah, we're going to take all but one little dinky corner out here. I think that's going to work out just fine. All right, that looks great. So let's come in and catch these edges. Just a little bit of a file here, just to knock those burrs off. So when I flip it over, it doesn't end up sitting up on a burr. That's good. Nice. I think that looks pretty good. Get rid of some of this stuff. Okay, let's flip it over and see what we come up with. Sucker ain't light. Not anymore. Okay. Well, I think we hold it just like we held it last time. We just hold it in the center and do some cuts, and then move our hold downs over a little bit. I'm going to play with this. We'll be back. Okay, let's cut this again. See what we can come up with. Not quite, because that's as far as I can get the and we want to tighten these up. That's probably a good idea. And that's as far as I can get the head to go, or the table to go. So what we're going to do is move the head a little bit. I'd say right about there. All right. Let's do this again. Well, that looks pretty good. That stayed fairly level. Now it depends on what happens this direction, but I'm hopeful. And my wife just showed up, so hey, we'll be back. we got the hold down in the way, and I think what I'm going to do is just bring my cutter up to the hold down and stop and go around it and then finish off, and then come in later and cut where the hold down is lower than this surface here. And that, you know, won't look great, but it will be lower, and that means that this whole thing is nice and level. So let's bring this back down, and it looks like we missed just a little bit back in that corner, but I think we're going to be just fine. All right, we're going to go right up the center and find out what our lowest spot is. Hopefully it isn't too bad. All right. So we've got 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60. 60 is where we are. All right, we're going to take 30 again. And we'll just come right up the center for right now. All right, we're still in the rough out stage, so it doesn't really matter what this thing, you know, what angles I go at, or I'm not trying to make it look pretty. We're just getting material out of the way. So, bring this back up. All right, so we're going to do a cleanup, and we'll take 5 more thousandths. There's not going to be a lot of pressure on this, so I think I can get away with just one hold down, and the rails that I welded on there will give it the stability it needs, I hope. But I think we're going to be okay. So we're going to add that 5. And and then also I'm going to travel this way. Well, actually, you know what? I could travel the other way now that I've got it cleared out, huh? Okay, let's do that. All right, we've got it. As you can see, we had one of these inserts went bad on me about a quarter of the way into this, and if this had been for a customer, I would have changed out the insert and made another pass at this. But the fact is this is for me, and once I get the rotary table on there, it's never going to be seen again. So I'm not really, and then, you know, within a couple of months it'll be rusted, and you won't see it anyhow. So I think I'm going to leave it just like that, but I want to come in and do and indicate these two just to see how we did. So to see if there's any deflection that I didn't really want. All right. There we are. Bring it to there. All right, bring it to 0. Oops, there's 0. I don't know if you can see it or not. Let's get you down here so you can. Yeah, there's no reflection from this direction, so no problem. All right, let's see how it's doing. I'm liking it. Maybe a half a thousandths. So let's take it up to the next level. back to 0. All right, well, we got a couple of thousandths, but maybe it was, I didn't watch it in the beginning. It may have jumped. Yeah, looks like just a little bit. And we really need that to be clean. Need it to be parallel with this. Two thousandths is let's see what we got. Now it's fine. It drops down just a little bit towards the end there. So I'm thinking leaving everything just like it is. We come back in and we kiss this one more time. But I think we're going to put some new inserts in. But it's time for lunch. So I'm going to take a break, and I'll see you probably tomorrow morning when we're back at this. Okay, well, now it's the next morning, and I've thought about this thing all night, and you know what? There's two things that happened. Is one, I forgot to put these little ears on, and so I need to weld those back on, or not back on, but on. And need to drill a couple holes in them. And then the other thing is that once I weld it, it's going to throw this thing off just a little bit. So I think we're going to come back in, we're going to put new inserts in, we're going to do a final skim and come up with something that looks really nice. And I mean, why not? We're here. Life is good. I'm happy. Let's just do it right. Okay, let's move forward here. And I may have said this before, but I can't remember. I have two 5/16, is it 5/16? Maybe half-inch bolts holding this entire plate in place. And I don't think it's strong enough. So what we're going to do is I've cut a couple of pieces of 1-inch stock here, and we're going to weld them in behind this and run a bolt through this and around the entire table of the shaper. And I think that's going to give us the strength. We've got these two bolts and these two bolts, one on each side. So, and of course that's going to change the plate squareness, but it is what it is, right? So first thing we want to do is drill a hole through here and get ourselves set up so that we can get ready to weld it. Alright, first thing we're going to do is find approximate center, and we will do that with the old crisscross method. That's close enough. And we can probably just go ahead and, I mean, we're not looking for accurate here, we're just looking to drill a hole. Alright, we're going to come in with a 1/2-inch bit and run it down in and All right, we're gonna chamfer that edge. And we'll take it over.